Hello, it's Ryan coming at you with another edition of Gastric Measures. This is week 4 of my post-op VSG or vertical sleeve gastrectomy. Let's do the business right at the top. First of all, I'll say this at the beginning and the end. If you would love to, and I would love you to, please subscribe to this channel. I do videos every week at least. I'm trying to think of other ideas of stuff to do, but I do at least one video a week, kind of a weekly update. Also, I have an Instagram account for specifically for weight loss surgery related things and just my life in general. I kind of like cross post to both my Instagram accounts, and that is also gastric_measures. And I will include that in the description as well. So, here's the information you were apparently always supposed to start with. I had vertical sleeve gastrectomy, or VSG, with Dr. Hawasley at St. John's Medical Center in Grosse Pointe, Michigan. My starting weight on December 5th for my pre-surgery class was 440 pounds, and this week on Wednesday I weighed in at 387.6. So for those of you playing at home, that is a total weight loss of 52.4 pounds and a 6.2 pound loss on the week. So I've been trying to do these videos on the same day that I weigh in, but it's just, hold on, I want to turn my phone to airplane mode. It's just not been possible. I weigh in on Wednesdays, and I go to work, and then I have comedy sports practice, and in general, at lunch, I either try to accomplish something, either an errand or go to the gym if I need to, or I will try to go down to this little atrium area in our office building that has like couches and stuff and read for an hour. So, I really don't. And then after work, I usually either go to the gym or grab something to eat and then go to comedy sports practice. And by the time I get home from that, or if I go out afterwards with my fellow players, I generally don't have the energy or the desire to then shoot my YouTube video. So, I've been doing these on the weekends. It's Sunday right now, and my little guy is supposed to be napping. He's in his room. He's in bed, but he does not sound like he's asleep. So we will see. Hopefully, he'll fall asleep soon. So I'm taking advantage of that time to do this. So, let's see what happened this week. Well, on Friday, I made the transition to the soft food stage of the diet. It's the last 2 weeks of any sort of real restrictions before I go into the gloves are off, eat whatever you want, but don't be an idiot mode. That's what I'm choosing to call it. Um, so, let me tell you a little bit about that. It was wonderful. As much as I love chili, even Hormel chili, but the Coney Island chili I talked to you about, it was wonderful to eat something different and to actually get a chance to cook, which was great. I only made one thing. I had some, I had some ground chicken that I had already cooked that I had planned to puree, and then it just didn't come out very good, so I just saved it. So I've been eating that with like some Old El Paso taco sauce and some shredded Munster cheese, and then I will either add or not add, depending on how I'm feeling, a couple tablespoons of garden salsa and a little knob of cream cheese that I'll blend up in a magic bullet and then spoon over the top for like a creamy salsa thing. I've had it twice, once with, once without, so both are good. And then other soft foods I've been eating is just cheese, string cheese. I bought some bomb ass aged Asiago cheese and something called butter case cheese, which is like it's a German soft cheese, and it's kind of like Munster, but it's real buttery tasting. So I've been eating snacking on that a little bit, a lot of cheese actually, and that's one of the things that I'm like concerned about, but not because it's only for 2 weeks, and they really did tell me they said calories, protein. Those are the two things you should really, really watch. And then, after that is carbs and fat. So that's at least for these like healing stages. They were like, you're not going to be eating enough stuff and enough variety for it to really make a difference. After, once we take the gloves off, we pay a little bit more attention to all that stuff. And that's kind of what I've been thinking about. So, the other thing that I made, the thing that I cooked was um, some low carb sausage balls. Now, sausage balls are one of my favorite, like little finger food appetizers. I take them to parties and potlucks all the time, and I have since I was a little kid. They are so delicious, and I mean the base recipe is easy. It's literally um, a thing of ground sausage, like the tubes, like Jimmy Dean or Bob Evans or whatever. I like to use the hot sausage myself. I use sage this time, but I like to use the hot sausage generally. Um, a cup of Bisquick and a about 8 ounces, like a bag of shredded cheddar cheese, and you mix that together. I use my KitchenAid mixer, but you can use your hands if you want until you get kind of a dough. Kind of gets all combined, and then you either using a cookie scoop or again your fingers roll it into little meatballs and bake it, and it tastes like a breakfast sandwich in a ball. I made a low carb version that I found, which takes out the Bisquick and replaces it with a cup of almond flour and an egg and a tablespoon of butter and a quarter cup of Parmesan and some um, baking powder. I've been questioning whether the butter and the Parmesan is really necessary or if it's just the person who came up with the recipe trying to add something to it. And the next time I make them, I may make without. But I've been eating, I was able to get like 4 of those down. I tried for 5 once and was able to eat 4.5. So I think 4 is the magic number on that. Um, and then I've been eating the taco meat, like I said, and that's really the only like food I've been eating. I'm still drinking 2 Premier Proteins a day, and then, like I said, either snacking on some of the cheese or a string cheese or a Greek yogurt, something like that. My dietitian, nutritionist person at my surgeon's office wants me to have 2 Premier Proteins a day and one meal and some snacks. I've been having 2 Premier Proteins a day, but doing it 2 premiers, one as a meal, one as a snack, and then 2 meals. Because I try to eat every 3 hours, but I eat about the same thing, size wise. I eat 3 to 4 ounces of food every time. So what's the difference between a meal and a snack? Right now, I really don't know. But so yeah, the macros were interesting. It's been very high protein still. I'm still hitting 40 to 50% of my calories coming from protein, getting 90 to 110 grams of protein in a day. And then fat has been the second highest. Fat came in, at times 40%, almost 50% at times, getting about 40 to 50 grams of fat. And then carbs were very low. If I 10%, 14%, stuff like that. I don't think I went over 20 grams of carbohydrates total. And that's just because there's really not, it's been beaten into me for the last couple of weeks that, like, I shouldn't have a piece of toast or a waffle with some sort of protein source as breakfast. Unless it's like a protein waffle or a low carb waffle. And I'm starting to wonder about that. I'm starting to wonder about the balance there. If I had a piece of breakfast sausage, like a sausage patty, and a single toaster waffle for 20 carbs, um, out of the 60 I'm supposed to have it that day, would that be a bad thing? I don't know. We're going to have to play around with it. I think one of the first things I'm going to try when my restrictions are completely gone is those Thomas double protein English muffins. They're still a good protein source, and I feel like if I ate, I feel like I wouldn't be able to do more than like half an English muffin with like a sausage patty and maybe a little cream cheese or a piece of cheese melted over it or something like an open faced breakfast sandwich. I don't know. It's all going to be playing around and seeing what's what. And as long as the scale keeps moving, and life is good, then I'm not gonna get mad at it. So yeah, that's pretty much been it for soft foods. It hasn't been too bad. I'm gonna try a burger at some point this week. If nothing else, on Comedy Sports Day, because I don't go home from work. Stop somewhere in between and get a burger. Or I've been thinking about going to the BD's Mongolian barbecue. I don't know if anybody around, watching has been to one of those, but it's like I've heard it called a raw bar because all of the meats and veggies and everything like that is raw. You put it all in a bowl, you put seasonings and sauce on top of it or on the side, and then they cook it on a hot stone grill. And there's nothing. The only meat that I remember they used to have, because it was the only thing I could tolerate with my lap band, was meatballs. And I don't, last few times I've been there, I don't remember seeing meatballs. So I have to find out about that. Otherwise, it's not going to be a good soft food option. But, it's a really good option for, once you're off the restrictions, you fill the bowl with meats and, veggies if you want, and some seasonings and sauce, and you probably get 2 meals out of one trip. And when you do one trip, you're allowed to take it home. They won't. That's a weird because it's an all-you-can-eat place. If you do multiple trips up, they won't give you a box after the first one because then just like people who do the never-ending pasta bowl at Olive Garden, you eat until you're stuffed, and then order one more bowl, take a bite, and then ask for a box. You got lunch the next day. And I think most corporations are a little quicker than that. So they won't give you a box there after the first time, but first time around they will give you a box. So it's it's a good option. $13 and probably get 2 or 3 meals out of it. So I might give that a try. We'll see. We shall see. But yeah, that's kind of all that's been going on. It snowed like a fuck ton here, like 10 inches, and it just keeps kind of snowing a little more as things get cleared. Nothing has piled up since things get cleared, but it's just gross out. And of course I tried to I have my kiddo with me this weekend, and I didn't want to keep him cooped up in the house all day. So yesterday I went to the dentist, and then took him to get a haircut, and then I tried to go to a friend's board game night. Well, I did go to a friend's board game night, but I was a stranger there. I didn't know anybody except the host, and there was other little kids there, and I went downstairs with Max into the little playroom, and then I didn't really feel comfortable just leaving him. I mean, there was another adult. There was always another adult, and at times it was the person I knew, but I didn't want to be like, "Hey, watch my kid. I'm gonna go play with your friends." So I just sat down there with Max, and Max is still he's learning how to share well. He knows how to do it, but sometimes he still gets into that mind thing, and we're working with him to understand that it's polite to share, it's nice to share, but that doesn't mean he has to, and he doesn't always have to give everything up. That's kind of the lesson we want to teach him, is that sharing is nice and you should share, but that doesn't mean that every time somebody else wants the toy you're playing with, you have to give it to them. So that's a delicate balance, and we're still trying to work on him learning that. But he gets frustrated, and he expresses his frustration a lot of times by pounding whatever's near him, be it a table, be it a toy, or be it a person. So I kind of try to stay with him, especially around new kids. So we had fun. I just watched the kids play, and I saw some really cool toys this kid had that I wrote down for Christmas and stuff like that. So we shall see. Yeah, this is kind of a short video. I don't really have much else to say. Soft foods have been good. I love that I can eat things. I'm really excited. I got an Instant Pot for my birthday, and I'm really excited to make some shit in there. So here's the things I would like comments on, if you would. Give me your favorite Instant Pot recipes. Either a link or just something you like to make in your Instant Pot, and I'll find my own recipe. 2, this is a question I should have asked but didn't. Has anybody tried Carb Quick baking mix? Make like biscuits or pancakes or anything like that. I saw it online today. It's expensive, just like any of that carb stuff is, but biscuit sandwiches, like breakfast biscuit sandwich, my favorite thing in the world. And if there's a way I can eat one now and again, I could eat one now and again. Now I know that. And I know, like, in my program, it says, like, oh, if you have to go fast food and a good way to go is get a burger or a grilled chicken sandwich or whatever, and eat either no bun or half the bun. And so having, half of a breakfast sandwich to me once in a while is a treat. that seems like something that could happen now and again. But if there was a way to make biscuit sandwiches that I could take to work and not have to worry about all the carbs, awesome. And I'll be interested. I mentioned the double protein muffin. I'll be interested to see um, how the scale works once I'm off all restrictions, and I can I'm hoping to balance out. Like yesterday, or today actually, I upped my carbs a little bit by blending a third of a banana into my Premier Protein that I had for breakfast. And so, and I watched the macros balance out. It's not like I ate less fat, but everything balanced out a little bit so that if I had this many calories, the percentages balanced out a little bit. The percentage of my fat was high yesterday, and I know that. And I don't even know that that's bad. I know that fat has been vilified, and I know that a lot of nutritional science is now saying, no, fat's really not the enemy, carbs is. And there are bad fats, there are triglycerides, there are saturated fats, all that kind of stuff. But fat itself is not the enemy. You need to be careful, more careful to watch carbs. And carbs are necessary too, but the amount of carbohydrates that people eat and that I was eating are crazy to me. So I say that as somebody who loves carbs. So yeah, so I'm interested to play around with this. I'm interested, and I hate to see the sleeve Nazis and the food police that I see in the community sometimes, because I really do think, and I've said this before, everybody's body is different. And I hate to see people ask a legitimate question like, hey, can I have a glass of wine? When can I have a glass of wine? And have them be shouted down like, you're not even serious about this. Why would you go through this major surgery if you're not going to change the way you live? And I just want to grab those people and shake them and be like, you have no idea who you're talking to and what their life might have been like before now. They could have been the kind of person who who drank a bottle of wine a night. And now they're asking if they can have a glass of wine on a special night out or once a week or something like that. And you're shouting them down. And it's like, that's not a sustainable lifestyle. And I do wholeheartedly believe that that is why you hear stories about people with regain. I believe that a lot of people work on a very restrictive diet. And I mean, you have to be restrictive. You have to change the way you eat. I have to change the way I eat. But I do believe people do it in a non-sustainable way. They cut out all of the things they like. They don't allow themselves any leeway. They don't allow themselves any treats. And they don't learn the definition of a treat, and that it's not supposed to be an all-the-time thing. It's supposed to be a treat. And because of that, they hit their maintenance goal, they hit their weight loss goal, and they're like, sweet, I'm going to allow myself a little leeway, and they wind up going nuts. Because I think, I think I said this on here before, but if you're over here, and you go over here, and then try to come back to here, the pendulum is going to go back, and you're going to do this. That's how I feel about it. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, but that is how I feel about it, and that is what I know about myself. So, I am following instructions, I am watching what I'm doing, and I'm trying to learn about my diet. And I think that's going to be the most important thing. So, again, here's what I'd like to know. I'd like to know what your macros are. I'd like to know your Instant Pot recipes. I would like to know Instant Pot recipes, macros, and I want something fun. What TV show are you watching a ton of right now? If you're not a binge person, I don't want to say binging, but what TV show are you absolutely loving, or do you wish more people were watching? For me, I don't think I have to say I wish more people were watching it, but I've been watching Scandal for a couple months now, and I am almost done with what is available to me on Netflix, and then I have to wait until season 7 is finished and catch up, or maybe watch it at my parents' house on their on demand or something like that. So we shall see. Cool. All right. Have a good week, and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye bye.